Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tanya. Thank you so much for coming back and watching On the Town. We appreciate you. I'm your host, Tanya. Hey, and this week I have a great guest. He's from Seattle. He's a native of Seattle. He produced his Suit Man Productions, and his first original show idea, Deaf Comedy Jam, was inspired by his own hearing loss. He is the winner of the Best Podcast. Please welcome comedian producer Duante Barnett.
Yeah, you get to keep your black card. You said it right.
I did. Whoa!
You know what's funny is that's like my test. Like when it's like you're not really black, you're a white black girl. If you say Duante, I'm just fucking with you.
No, because I spelled Dante Dante. So that's why it was like jacking me up. I was like, damn, am I going to get this wrong? But how are you?
Man, it's a blessing. Today I made a decision. I'll be going to the inauguration, I think, and flying out to cover kind of what's going on. Definitely an opportunity to brand. And also, if you didn't know, I was live during our riots back in May.
Oh, really?
So when shit went crazy about what was his name? Sorry. Breonna Taylor got killed, and then was it Clifford? I can't think of the guy's name right now. Mm-hmm. But when George Floyd, right? When they got killed, Seattle went off, and I was down there for that. I was in the middle of all the card burnings and the chaos, and so I've decided I'm going to go to inauguration and see how crazy they fucking are down there, right?
Well, they can be prepared for crazy, so be careful. That's all I can tell you. Be very careful because they're very crazy at this point. You saw what happened, the debacle yesterday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. And then I honestly think it was all planned meticulously, because it was crazy to see police standing like this in their ATF suits or whatever they were doing and just watching them, escorting them into the Senate. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? And then everyone's all saying, oh, 4 people got shot. I was like, people that was trying to scale a wall into the floor. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but no one had that sympathy for a black man when he got shot 15 times in the back. I'm just saying. Doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. But I didn't see anybody getting peppered sprayed by the masses or getting hit with the flashbangs like we did. And we're talking about downtown Seattle, not the Capitol fucking building. You know?
Exactly. It's crazy. So I don't know, but it's all good. I guess stuff happens. I don't know. I'm just at loss of words at this point. I'm like, what happened to impeachment? Because we need to have that right now. Thank you very much. So let's see what happens. But I'm glad you were able to join us today. You're awesome as a comic, and something special to my heart. You help other people in a interesting situation, and you turn it into something great. So I want you to tell me something about you had suffered hearing loss at some point, and I want to know about that and how it brought you to comedy.
Well, I grew up always being loud and being, I'm 39% black. Half of me's got a reason, right? But I've always been loud. And then in 2000, I want to say 11, I had my hearing tested because I was going through hearing issues and found out I was completely deaf in my left ear.
Really?
Yeah. So they hit this little, I don't know what the things sound, but it's this big U thing. And they hit it and it goes, wong. And so it went around my head like this to the right side. And I could hear, wong. We got halfway around and it went from wong to nothing. And then it got around to the front and went wong again, right? And he's like, you're deaf. And I was, I just thought I was black and loud,
Right. Oh, no.
And then I decided to do something different with comedy. And I was like, I grew up with a best friend who was deaf. We used to communicate a lot. I don't know ASL, but somehow we could communicate. We'd write things down. We'd figure it out. And it's just something I grew up with. And I was like, I want to do a show where we can offer comedy to a deaf and a hearing audience.
Nice. Very nice.
Every time I say Deaf Comedy Jam, people are like, I've heard of that. And I go, no, you're not hearing me. DEAF, Deaf Comedy Jam.
Right, then, not DEF.
And then here was the worst part about it. I actually got trolled by a white deaf comic in New York, right? Yeah. And he was trolling me through the deaf community about this show and hating on me. And so out of nowhere, some of the people in the community were like, well, it says he's half deaf and he's black. And it's kind of like a play on words. And I was pissed off because I was like, I've been proving how black I am my whole life. Right. I shouldn't have to prove how deaf I am too now, damn it.
That's good. That's good. So you seem to make really good light of everything, which is what I love about your spirit and your personality. And I was able to see that through your videos. And I was like, this guy is thebomb.com. Like, so tell me about this. So your audience, they do this as a sign, they do the happy sign if they like the comedy. That's how they do it. So then you
sorry.
So no, you go ahead.
We did it live. We've only done the show one time. It was scheduled for April last year. Obviously, we didn't get to do it, right? Okay. But when I emailed Columbia City Theater, I said, I want to do this show called Def Comedy Jam and Dark Brew and all these other shows. And the guy responded and he said, I've been in entertainment for 20 fucking years. Nobody's ever asked to do a deaf show. I definitely got to talk to you. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's
we gave a discount for deaf people. So I had 44 deaf people out of the 70 plus people in the audience who identified as deaf. Mm-hmm. And then it was a treat. So I had an old comedian in Seattle named Cliff Barnes on the show. He's been doing comedy for like 30 plus years, 37 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he told me, you're giving these comedians a treat they'll never experience anywhere else. And I didn't know that until we started it, because you get 2 laughs for every fucking joke. You get the hearing audience because they're hearing you live,
right?
And then you get the delayed signed laugh. Well, we had a guy in the audience, and deaf people have some of the worst laughs in the world, kind of like mine. My laugh is all fucked up, right? And so we had this one guy who just kept going, ah, ah, ah. Right? And so finally, right after about the 3rd comedian, I called him out. I said, "Who's going ah, ah, ah?" And he raised his hand, and I was like, I'm gonna need some more money. You're you're laughing at every joke. I need more money. And then the funny part is I was like, I'll let you come to the next show for free.
Uh-huh.
And so we did an intermission, and he came up and he's like, I gotta go. I was like, okay. He's like, well, I want my ticket. I was like, well, if you want your ticket, you got to stay for the whole show. And he was like, okay.
That is so awesome. I think that's amazing. So you're lucky because your first bomb, probably didn't even bother you.
Mm-mm.
Right?
The worst part is when I first started doing comedy, I really was frustrated at times.
Okay.
Because if it wasn't a big enough room, I couldn't hear people. And when I'm on the stage, if it's an open mic with less than 15 or 20 people in the room, I probably can't hear the laughter.
So
when I first started comedy, it'd be hard because I'd be standing there and I'd start sweating and I'd be like, these fuckers aren't laughing, and the light's in my face so I can't see them and I can't hear them, and I'm just telling and I'd get off the stage and people were like, you were fucking awesome, and I was like, why didn't you fucking laugh then? And I'm like, we did laugh. I was like, well, I didn't hear you. You know what I mean?
That's great. That is good stuff.
I had another older comedian named Hennigan. He's another 40-plus year guy. And he's like, yeah, it fucks with you. You need to get a hearing aid. And I was like, fuck you. I don't want a hearing aid. I'm 38. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off.
Wait, recently you did something. You just some kind of surgery or something?
Well, in 2011, I had a stapedectomy.
Okay.
Which is the replacement of your stapes bone.
Okay.
So I hear 60 decibels and higher in my left ear.
Okay.
So it's not that I'm completely deaf. It's just I only hear out of one ear. So I have to fight through the interference, and I can't always make out what's going on around me. And then, like, when you put me if I'm talking, my voice is closer than you are. Right. Right? And then you put me behind a mic where my voice is projecting out. I can't really hear what's coming back in.
No feedback. That's interesting. Wow. Well, I don't know. That can be to your advantage, because I know when I first started out, when you hear silence, it's like, oh no, I'm failing here. I'll be like, okay, I guess this is all right. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing. You probably are really, really comfortable with silence. I don't think you didn't get any when I heard your stuff, but I'm just saying it's a great blessing in disguise in a way. So when did you think? When did you realize that you can make a difference and help others who are facing challenges? You also work with autism, those with the autism spectrum?
Man, we're going all over the place. So I got a podcast called Beautiful Minds, the Autastic Artists. Mm-hmm. It's the Artastic Artist podcast. Autastic is a combination of autistic and fantastic. We launched that this past weekend. there's no, like, it's funny because being disabled isn't like being black. You know, it's not like people look at you and go, I know you're black, but they do, right?
Right.
Being disabled is kind of the same way. And one of my high school friends was like, we've always thought you were kind of special. But I'm functioning, you know, and it's a focus. Like, you know, I'm booked till like August on shows online, and it's all about being meticulous in the same process, and everything's OCD, and you've seen my spreadsheet, and everything's like order. Yes. That's autism isn't a bad thing. You get
exactly. That's like someone taking Adderall.
Yeah, hello. And then we talked about my first interview was a comedian, and the funny part about the interview is I've got usually I've got a co-host who works within the community, Audra Cisak, she went to high school with me, and then I'm going to have an extra co-host who's somebody else on the spectrum, and then we have a guest. And so the funny part is I'm gonna tell you, I already know what's gonna happen is every episode starts off angry and kind of sad because we talk to people about how they started doing what they're doing and how they're handling it. And there's a lot of anger in that,
right? Especially
when we talk to Juliana, because she's like, hey, I'm bad because I'm autistic, and people were like, you must be autistic because you don't do this. And so now because I have weaknesses in the way I handle things socially, that's autistic. That puts it in a bad light, but then long term, she's finding she's getting a different sort of support, and she's the champion for a community. And now she does have a story to tell. You know what I mean? And so it's like when we talked about our comedy similar. Well, I've got the same experiences, right? I've got a master's degree, right? So when you have things that are in common, that you've got the same structure, and so now. Taking it one step further, I told another comedian I'm working with, there's a comedian in Louisiana called Chubu. I'm helping her learn how to produce shows and taking her under my wing. And I found out today I'm on a podcast with disabled people. And I was like, that's a new box of people to be working with. Yeah. And then not only that, but most comedians aren't okay. I don't care. I was a paraeducator. I'm used to them. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal to me, but to them, it'll be a huge deal.
Right.
And then the co-host was like, he told me the co-host is really your fan. If we book you next month, she won't be here. And I was like, nah, if I got a fan, I got to be there. Right. Let's do, you know what I mean? I'm going to get up at 4:30 a.m. to be live in UK because she loves what I'm doing.
That's amazing.
And people don't have that. You get what I mean? Like, and then we're paying people to be on the Autastic podcast.
Wow.
So we're not just doing it for free. I'm giving you $50 to be a guest.
Wow.
And then the more money we get in from sponsorship, my goal is we spend 20% on that buying your product so we can give it away to listeners and back to the sponsor. So now we've given you $50 and we've bought $100 of your artwork or your CDs or your stickers, and we're sending those out too. And now we're doing more than just me. And I think that's a good segue. Is like I'm a decent comedian, but what I'm doing as a production company out just makes that look like I'm a crap comedian because I'm doing more than me. Suitman Productions is no longer about Duante.
Yes, I see that.
Wow. And I'm producing for people now. I've got somebody else producing. Right. Somebody gave me a show idea, so they're going to host it. They don't want to produce it. So now I'm doing Laughing Through Recovery. The first 2 shows of that are already booked, and it's going to be comedians who are now sober and going through the recovery.
Oh, we got to talk about that. I'm doing a documentary on recovery, so that's awesome. Yeah,
but you get what I mean. And like I say, that's another box of people that are now being represented and getting representation and feeling like they're being, they're getting their voice heard. You know what I mean? Like somebody was like, I work at a sober place in a recovery area. I would love to stream your shows. Will they be live? I was like, fuck yeah. They'll also be on YouTube at Suitman Productions, youtube.com/Lee/Suitman Productions. You know, everything turns into a commercial, right?
Yeah.
But that's the truth. You know what I mean? Is that, you know, my biggest thing is I'm trying so hard to make sure everybody but the regular Bill, Bob, and Karen get some stage time. I even help Karen's get stage time. I do rock comedy.
Karen's, come here. Tell her now. Get it out before you get out there in the store for Starbucks. Get it out now. But you know what? That's what I love about you, and I know why now because I listened to one of your podcasts. I know why you was awarded the best podcast of the year because I watched the one with the young lady from the Philippines. What's her name?
Juliana Hang.
Yes. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I watched that. I think it was your first one. I want to say it was the first one.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant. And I have a what I call my godson who's autistic, and I always say, there's definitely other stuff for them to do. Like we have to find out what the gifts are and find out, how to hone them, and then where can we put these gifts in the universe? Because I think everybody has a talent or something that they're here to do. You know what I'm saying? Like clearly you're here to start a new niche in the comedy world, for a lot of different types of people. But I think it's brilliant because most people would say, oh, I can't. I have a friend that's autistic and he's a comedian, and he's brilliant. Like he is really brilliant. His social skills still lacking. Jokes them like your social skills, nah, but your comedy game's tight, boy. Your comedy game is tight. So, but he gets booked all the time because he's really funny. And so, why shouldn't he have a chance like anybody else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. Tell me about places like Laugh Comedy Club, Laugh Off.
So I did the Laugh Off. That was kind of like the carrot you get given because they got to give one to you. So I did my original Black comedy show at Laughs, right? So let's kind of rewind. So I did the Black Comedy Festival thanks to Dirty Angel Entertainment out of Portland. They throw the Black Comedy Festival, look for their 5th one this year. One of my partners, if you ever see it say Dirty Suit, that's why, because I'm partnering with them. Okay. But I did that Black Comedy Festival, and it was like, why in the fuck don't we have a Black comedy show in Seattle? You know what I mean? Like I just came back and was like, or anywhere. Yeah. Well, that part too. Right. But I was like, we're doing one. And everybody was like, well, we're going to get some hole in the wall. We'll get this hole in the wall. And I don't mean hole in the wall, but I was like, we're going to get a fucking comedy club. We're not going to go to Billy's backyard bar. Nothing personal, but I want to do this right. And so Labs was like, yeah, we'll give you a day. We'll give you the Thursday before a 3-day weekend.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's not a good thing, is it? No, I didn't know that. I was new. I didn't know that wasn't good. But I was like, hey, it's like when we started making chitlins. We got meat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if this is the pork it's tested. We're going to make it work, right? So we had over 100 people show up to the white neighborhood of Seattle for a Black comedy show.
Get out.
They cut me a check for $1,100 on a Thursday.
What?
That was my first fucking show. I'm not bragging. That's not talking shit. Let's talk real numbers. Nobody's getting that. No, and then I asked them to come back, and they were like, we'll think about it. What? Bitch, we'll think about it, but we'll let you be in our comedy competition. I wasn't ready, right? If you heard it compared to my other sets, it wasn't as polished. I was nervous. If you heard some of the other stuff, the crowd wasn't even really ready for me. I didn't really read the room. But that was like, hey, you did a great job. You made us some money getting our competition. And then guess what? Now they had 2 Black guys in their competition. So they're definitely not racist, right? But I did it. You know what I mean? And so everything's been a stepping stone. And that also was what inspired me to be different.
Right.
That's what inspired Suit Man, is to be a young Black man and run a successful show at a club and not get any rigmarole, no tap on the back, no let's do this again, no hey, we could do this. There's no other Black. Why don't we do this again in 2 months? Let's do this. Right. And I was like, fuck this. We deserve this. Let's go somewhere else to do it. And that's what got me at Columbia City Theater. I told about Def Comedy Jam and then Dark Brew. And I was doing Give Love Laugh, a donation show within my first 5 shows. Wow. We donated $300 to the Union Gospel Mission, right? So I built all these things of giving back and donating in as the original plan for Suit Man. So now I do Give Love Laugh 3 times a year, and it's not a big deal to do a donation show because that's what I've been doing. And I guess everything that I've saw wrong with comedy is exactly what I've made sure I'm not doing with Suit Man.
See, and that's the brilliance of that's how come I started producing. Because I was tired of seeing, I was like, wait, what needs to be fixed? I don't see any Black female headliners. I don't see any older people getting too many shows unless it's their friends. I don't see any Asians. I don't see it. I needed to cover it all. So I try to make my shows diverse for the same reason. And I try to give people a chance because a lot of people gave me a chance when I first started. And it's, we have to find our own niche and we have to start producing our own shows. That's the only way we're going to find them. Whatever it is our gift is. So I commend you. Tell me about your newest project, Beautiful Minds.
So that was the best one. Is this Autastic podcast is really a great way to inspire people. Like I said, I've always been on that cusp but I was 6 foot at 11 years old. I was an athlete. I was doing algebra in like 3rd and 4th grade. So I was talking to my friend Audra about it, and she's like, "Are you on the spectrum?" And I said, "Actually, now that you think about it, I was always in portable classes till I got to high school because they couldn't teach me, and I was too much to handle, and I was over here yelling and controlling the code. Well, I was fucking bored. I've been doing algebra since 3rd grade. I didn't get school credit for it till 7th grade."
Right.
But since I was smart and not just behavior, they couldn't just put me on an IEP because I passed my classes.
Ah, so that's why
I can literally remember being an A student and just being in trouble all the time because I was bored or too big, or he pushed the kid down playing tackle football. Well, I'm 5'10", 175 pounds. The other 5th graders are like 60 pounds. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm just fucking big, right?
Right. Like, I got that.
So when you look at autistic, it's a chance to go through their story, really do something different. Like I think that's the biggest thing is being different. And there's like, when I look at the lineup, I didn't know that my artist that does all my logos was autistic.
Really?
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
I told you I'm kind of on the spectrum myself, and people get along with me, and we're wavelengths. And I figured out when people are just on my wavelength like that,
right?
That's why. That's why.
You talk about that in one of your sets. You say girls think you're romantic, but you're not romantic. What was that piece you did? That was hilarious. Hilarious.
I just have OCD. Yeah, I said I'm not a romantic. I just got OCD and I have anxiety. So I got to make sure everything's planned out. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
It's like, I'm not romantic.
No, I just want to know what we're doing. If I don't know what we're doing, I'm going to fucking freak out on the inside. And women think that's romantic. And I'm like, no, it's just cheap and well planned. That's all. I've got a spreadsheet and a coupon. That's why we went to this restaurant. We're 2 for 1 here. That's why you got the bottle of champagne. It came with the little $50 dinner. I don't even like champagne, you know what I mean? But it's that's really the truth of it, you know. And so, you know, it's I'm a champion for a lot of things. I've went through a bad divorce. I'm not seeing my kids. I'm fighting back to see my kids.
You look like you're 19. How old are you?
I'm 39.
Oh my God. You look like you're 19 with a suit on. Are you kidding?
Stop it. Look, I've got this bald patch over here. We're going gray on top, right?
I got one of those. I should have known better because you said you have your masters.
Yeah, black don't crack too.
Yeah.
That's you don't start growing up as a man till like 35. So the fact that I'm being mature and thoughtful, that automatically made me 36, right? I mean, shit.
That's good. Well, tell me this. First tell me about some of your other shows that you have. You said Def Comedy Jam.
Right now, we got a monthly roster. And so each month you're going to see the Autistic Artist podcast the first weekend. The second weekend of the month, we do raw comedy, Ridiculously Amazing Women. All women line up every second Saturday. Every third week of the month, you're going to see a Suitman production. So this month, it's Mixed and Misidentified, the What Are You show. We've got 10 comedians, including myself, that you have no fucking clue what our cultural background is.
Wow.
So when you look on this flyer, there's 20 different flags represented because that's the mix of cultures between us different 10 comedians.
That's good for you.
And so that could also be Dark Brew the third weekend, which is my black comedy show. I also do a show called Black and Proud. It's not that black and proud. It's black and LGBTQ plus. So the logo is actually a black unicorn with rainbow hair. We just got those stickers in and some magnets. Another monthly rotation show is going to be Give, Love, Laugh. We do it in March for UGM again. And then in the month of May, I'm doing it for Mary's Place, which is a shelter that helped me growing up. My mom was homeless as a kid, and so I was homeless as a kid. So I've spent time at both UGM and been helped by St. Mary's. When my mom passed away, they even threw a funeral because she had been volunteering so much time there. So they knew my kids, they knew her. So growing up from poverty, it's nice to give back and know that I'm doing something for that. And then every last weekend of the month, we got Soul Sister Sundays.
Yes, I'm hoping to do that for you one day.
I think I've got you on there somewhere.
I got my Yes, I think it's on. I got it. I got it written down somewhere. But I'm excited about that. Very
And
excited.
that's a Black comedy show. It's every last Sunday of the month
Uh-huh.
to really give us a chance to highlight our sisters from all around the country.
Woo-hoo.
It's a great show. It's actually going to be rotating with the two different hosts. One of them is Cynthia in Public out of the San Jose area, and the other one is Algiers Diamond out of the Virginia area. She's actually running for Congress, so I've got a congressman, a representative, a future politician hosting one of my comedy shows. You know what I mean?
Fabulous. That's going to be fabulous. So since the pandemic, all Superman Productions, you guys reach all over the world, pretty much.
Yeah, the first from we did a show in Boise in August, November, and October. I mean, August, September, and October. I started with my mixed and misidentified show, half mixies. And then when I did the all black show in September, I was like, we had to start with the mixes. I had to test the water with the light brights before I brought all the black people. And it was one of those I opened with. I was like, I know you guys are pissed. Like, are we going to open a barber shop?
Right.
I was like, I see a whole bunch of you G-Eazy white guys. I know you guys are happy. Like, I can finally get my fade, right?
It's so
but it's one of those where I'm trying to dominate the Pacific Northwest. I help book with my buddy in Canada with the Comedy Ring out in BC. We're booking in Boise. We book all over Seattle. I help book with my buddies in Dirty Angel in Portland, and then my other buddy Chris Smith in Vancouver, Washington. So we're really trying to make it to where if you came to Seattle, between the shows, my little, open mics and my real shows and going up to Canada and Boise, you can do a whole week just with Superman Productions and our partners out here. You know what I mean?
So you're really doing it, because I know back when I started comedy, like almost 6 years ago, I want to say, the thought of me producing shows was like, what? Not. And now I'm producing them because I just realized, you can't go and beg people for stuff. Sometimes you just do it yourself. You have to make the door that you want to go through. And so I like it better. And the pandemic has made it awesome, because all the people that would not put us on shows because we were new or want us to do bringers, now they're kind of at our mercy, because we don't have to do that anymore. We can go right on Zoom and do our own shows, so it depends on how you look at it. I love when people produce their own stuff, because you got to put the power in your own hands, pretty much.
Well, that was the best part about the pandemic. Is the first show I did of the pandemic was called COVID Comedy Cookout. And I got 7 black women from 7 states.
Wow.
And it was like, nobody's doing that. Like, it took me another 6 months till January to finally get a black woman show. You'd think I'd have figured out the first time. That's my fault. I'm still slow, right?
Right.
But the idea was, it was like, I really just got 7 black women from 7 different states on a show. That's ridiculous. Yep. And then I did another show, and I got Juliana on one Labor Day Laughs, and I was like, not only did I get an autistic comedian, I found an autistic woman, and then she's in Malaysia.
Yes, she's awesome. That's
why am I not trying to do more of this? I need to find more people that want to be heard and want to hear their story.
Right.
And it's just like, representation's so huge.
Yes, absolutely.
And people don't, you know what I mean? Like, people don't really get that. Like, I don't think we grasp it even enough ourselves in our own culture, that how much representation can help us.
Right.
And so when I do the Autastic podcast, or I did Def Comedy Jam, or doing Soul Sister Sundays, or we're doing Black and Proud, I'm not doing anything other than looking at somebody's flyer and going, I haven't seen a black woman in a long time. Why the fuck don't we have a black woman show? Right. Or there's no comedy for deaf people. Where's it at? That's literally all I am doing, is looking around at everybody else's flyers and going, oh, you're not doing that? Great. Okay, I will.
Right. Good for you. Well, that's the way to go. And last piece of advice before we go, that you would tell our audience members, if someone was watching and they're like, hey, I want to do that, but what would you tell them?
If you want to do comedy, like Nike said, just fucking do it.
Hey, I like that.
One of 3 things is going to happen, right? You're going to be super funny. The odds of that happening are about 1%. And even if you look at my first mic, it wasn't super funny. It was the second option. It's going to be livable. It's going to have its ups and downs. It's going to go good. It's going to go bad, but you're not going to kill it. That's about 45% of the bell curve. Right. And then the other 50%, you're going to fucking suck.
Yeah, right.
You're going to bite it. You're going to tell jokes in front of people who don't know you, have no clue who you are. You weren't ready for it. But then you've got 3 responses, right?
Right.
Either you're like, I don't fucking care, I'm doing it anyways.
Right.
2, my feelings are fucking hurt. Or 3, that was a fucking rush.
One or the other, yeah. And what? How can they find you on your podcast? That's what I want to type in there. What is that?
So just go to suitmancomedy.com. Look at suitmancomedy.com.
Comedy.com, yeah.
Everything's there. That's my full-blown website. If you go to YouTube, look for Suitman Productions within 24 hours. Yep.
Right.
Yep, that's good. Just put that up there. Everything you can find there. My YouTube's there, my Facebook. Good. If you look for Suitman Productions anywhere, you're going to find me. I'm the only logo with a Jerry curl, so you can't miss it.
With the Jerry curl. All right. Well, thank you so much for being our guest. I really appreciate you and all the work that you're doing with all the various communities. I just think it's so dope. The deaf and the autism. I mean, it's like, boom, dude, you're hitting it, because I don't know anybody that does that, honestly. So thank you. I appreciate that on behalf of my godson. I'm so happy to know that if he had another thing to do, I think he's musically inclined, but don't let me tell it. But that's another venue for somebody. So thank you so much for using your gifts to help other people find their gifts. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I hope to come back.
Yes. No. Oh, you're back. You're welcome back anytime. You have an open invitation. You got something going on, you pop in, tell us. Boom. It's on. Come pop. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you guys so much for watching again. This is Tanya on the Town. And don't forget, check us out. I'm co-hosting 5 Black Comics on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. West Coast time. You do not want to miss it because we are talking about all the wall climbing, the Scarface, Al Pacino, climbing the wall stuff. We're talking about all that. And like BLM, had it been BLM, would they have even made it past the lawn? Check us out Saturday, 5 Black Comics. You don't want to miss it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on Sunday. Saturday. See, I got confused. I got too many shows going on now. Right. Sunday's the next Saturday. I will see you at 5 p.m. And thank you very much for being our guest, Duante. You're the best.
Thank you.